There are diagrams and photos online supplementing the telling of this tragedy. abodylyingthere.com, all one word. abodylyingthere.com. Lying, Lying, abodylyingthere.com. You may want to take a look at these visuals. There may be something you see. Updates to these episodes, which are occurring daily, are now live. This is part 2 of the introduction of A Body Lying There, the digital time capsule, taking us back in time, in real time, as the story was unfolding over the wire, as they say in the industry. There may be something you hear.
I knew it was a crime scene.
The grass around the 20-year-old's body had been beaten down like there'd been a struggle.
I can visualize her fighting for her life on this riverbank right here.
Charlotte Mecklenburg Police, this is Crystal. Do you need police, fire, or an ambulance?
Either one. We had a jet skier pull up until they found a river bucket. Okay. Wiley?
Okay, no, we're
Flying on the road, so you just go straight to it.
Where's the bay?
It's on the right-hand side of the river, about maybe a quarter of a mile down. We can see the dip.
Is it on the bank?
I don't know. They just came up and said there's a body floating in the river.
We came back on the Wednesday after we found Eva's body, and I couldn't stay. It's just really emotional. It's uncomforting.
Gaston County 911.
Yes, ma'am, I can't hardly hear you. I'm a boater on the Catawba River, above the I-85 bridge.
Right.
There's a car that's run off an embankment, and there's a body laying there. I don't know if they're alive or not.
Okay.
But above the I-85 bridge on the water.
Her feet were near the river, underneath some brush, and in closer inspection she was actually holding some of that brush in her hand.
Starting date, Monday, May 5th, 2008, at 1 hour 7 minutes and 17 seconds p.m.
They're by land, but the car's run down the embankment, and the person's laying beside the car.
Okay. And
When did this happen?
Huh?
When did it happen?
I don't know. I was on my jet ski and we saw it out there.
Okay, but you did not see it happen, though. Is the person male or female?
I can't see. I want to say it was female. We were...
Gaston County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
We are at Riverfront. Yes.
Okay, are you sure you're not in Mecklenburg County?
Is this Mecklenburg? Yes. This is Gaston.
Okay, let me switch you to Mecklenburg because we don't have a Marina View Drive, okay?
Okay, it's the new road.
Okay, what's it run off of exactly?
It's off of Riverfront.
Okay, it's off of Riverfront.
What's the name of this road, main road?
Grassy area down a huge embankment. To me, that is a concern right there. How did the vehicle get down there to begin with?
The jet skis and we couldn't get right up to the car.
Okay, but it wasn't conscious or breathing, do you know?
Yeah, excuse me?
Were they conscious or breathing?
I don't know, ma'am. I couldn't get off my jet ski. It was logs and everything around there.
Right. Mecklenburg County?
It's at the end of Tuckasegee.
Okay, hold on 1 second, okay?
Okay.
I just came immediately down here to call you, but I don't know how to get there by land.
It was just a solitary vehicle, though? It was just one?
It was like a little blue Malibu, and the body's laying beside of it.
Like it was?
Charlotte Mecklenburg Police, this is Crystal. Do you need police, fire, ambulance?
Either one. We had a jet skier pull up until they found a body floating in Catawba River near Lake Wiley.
Okay, what side of Catawba River?
Just past the Riverfront subdivision, at the end of Tuckasegee.
Ira's body was laying right here.
There's 2 doors open, and I only saw one person.
Was it like they were thrown from the vehicle?
No, it looked like they tried to get out of the vehicle, and they were just laying right there beside of it.
Okay, is it on the Gaston County side or on the Mecklenburg County side, do you know?
Well, I thought we were in Gaston County, but they transferred me to you.
I'm still on here, Mecklenburg.
Right, go ahead, Gaston County.
I'm still on here. We're not sure where it's at because I don't have a Marina View, and he said it's Alpha 1000 Marina View Drive. What
I
did
just
you
know
say?
it's right where Tuckasegee dead end.
Okay. Tuckasegee?
Yes.
Hold on 1 second. What runs into Tuckasegee? Your road?
What's that?
Charlotte, are you still on here?
Yes.
Her feet are down at this end, and her head is up where your feet are right here. So the vehicle is actually sitting right here with the driver's door open and the back door open. Tree stump right there, straight down, is what her vehicle actually hit. And there, we do still have some questions about that, whether it was under power when it went down through there. Obviously, when it's sitting at the stump, it is under power because the front wheels are spinning. I'm not going to try to explain why the front wheels were spinning. All we know is that they were spinning.
Sir, what she's asking you is what road is near there at the dead end of Tuckasegee? What road?
Tuckasegee just runs straight into it.
To Marina, what is it?
What road would I get on to get on that part of Tuckasegee? What's the closest road?
We took exit 27, whatever road that is. 273. And then we make a right onto Tuckasegee and just go straight to the end.
Okay, right on Tuckasegee?
Yes.
Was there any bleeding that you could tell?
Excuse me?
Was there any bleeding that you could tell?
No, like I said, I couldn't get off to the
Right.
My boyfriend's still up there.
The actual keys to the vehicle were right up in this area here. How she got outside the vehicle, well, we can play the what if. Obviously, I don't know how she ended up in the position that she was. We have taken the vehicle and taken it over to Belmont and stored it in their facilities over there for security. And we have done an inventory inside the vehicle.
Okay, now if they come to Dale Super Red, is there any way to, what you said you couldn't figure out how to get to it by land, right?
I don't know. It's like a power line where the underground power line runs across there. There's like a little dirt road up there, but I don't know how to get there from there.
Okay, and the road you're at is what road?
I'm sorry, Sid.
What's the name of the road you're at now?
Marina View Drive. But I don't think it's named on the road. It's a dirt road. Road. And it just goes straight.
Okay, what's the name of the subdivision?
Her feet were near the river, underneath some brush, and in closer inspection, she was actually holding some of that brush in her hand.
Riverfront. There'll be a chain out in front of the road, but it's down, so you just go straight.
Okay, and there's a chain across the road?
Yeah, but it's laying on the road, so you just go straight through it.
Where's the body at?
It's on the right-hand side of the river, about maybe a quarter of a mile down. We can see the jet skis and everybody.
That day it was so beautiful out here. There wasn't any clouds, and just right there was that's where we found her, and just the sun beaming on her face like that, I will never forget it.
Going around it.
Okay. Is it on the bank? 20874. Okay, and you said it was a jet skier found it?
Yeah, right now there's a jet ski down there and another boat.
Okay. Okay, and we're sure that the subject is dead?
Yeah, they just said they found a body floating in the river.
Okay, sir. We'll get them on down there at you, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
We did a latent print search. Haven't been instructed as to what's happened with those. Mount Holly's, we are a small town. We have limited resources. I made another call to the SBI. I said, can we do some more?
You said you had some pretty good leads. Do you still have them?
Yes. I had a short conversation with the detectives before we came out here, and they're still following up on the leads.
Ending date, Monday, May 5th, 2008, at 1 hour 12 minutes and 34 seconds p.m.
We are convinced that someone did that to her. So that's how our investigation is proceeding.
When you say someone did that to her, can you kind of explain someone drove?
Someone caused her death. Now, whether they drove that vehicle down there, I can't tell you that. If they pulled her out of the vehicle, I can't tell you that either. Simply because I do not know. But I know someone caused her death, and that's who we're trying to find.
The knots were so tight that it left imprints in her neck. And then she had a blue ribbon from a small bag that she had in her car. That was tied around and knotted. No one could do that to themselves. It was a true, what you call, whodunit.
A true whodunit it was. The investigation seemed to go on for months with no progress. To the outside observer, the investigation seemed stalled. But behind the scenes, detectives were focusing on the two fishermen, cousins Mark Carver and Neil Cassidy, who were just 100 yards down from where Ira's body was found that day. Their stories weren't adding up.
Their timelines were completely wrong. Mark said that Neil rode with him down there. Neil said he drove down there. Mark said he stayed the whole time. Neil said he left shortly thereafter. So everything they were saying were contradictory to each other.
While Neil's daughter Amy tries explaining what was going on in Neil's mind as the investigation was ongoing.
He said, I really do hope they find out who killed her.
They went from the witness pool to the suspect pool. Everything suddenly was so much alike, it was uncanny. That's right.
He was just fishing, that was it.
They were in an extremely isolated area where they should have been able to hear any commotion, any trauma to her, any damage. They said they didn't hear anything.
There's no motive, absolutely no motive whatsoever why they would kill her.
There were hours and hours of phone calls A few of them really made you think, wow.
Their DNA matched 2 separate places on the vehicle.
It took at least a day or so for that to actually sink in.
From that investigation, we were able to develop probable cause. We have issued warrants and placed under arrest Neil Leon Quesada Jr. was also charged Mark Bradley Carter. Each is charged with first-degree murder. Both were arrested early this morning between 4:30 and 5 o'clock at their residence. Both are now in the Gaston County Jail with no bond.
Their story was, we did not touch that car. Consistently.
Easily see her pulling up, getting out of that car and walking over to these 2 strange-looking men and taking a picture of them. Or she thought that they didn't see her, taking a picture of them or doing whatever they were doing.
Doing something they weren't supposed to do, we don't know.
And I could see these 2 guys overreacting to that.
The times may differ as to what time you got there, as to what time you did this. That's because he doesn't wear a watch.
The times changed. What he did not. The order of events never changed.
We didn't do it. There ain't no way I done it. I've never seen him before in my life.
They murdered this girl. They want that car and that body in the river where it will not be found.
He just gave you a fiction.
But the evidence overlapped so much. I think it said both men were guilty, were guilty, were guilty, were guilty, were guilty.
It only took the jury 5 hours to find Carver guilty of first-degree murder.
The state of North Carolina versus Mark Carver, guilty of first-degree murder. This is your verdict, so say law.
We got him.
What trial were you at? Because the evidence was not there.
Mr. Carver, would you stand, please?
I don't know what to say to him.
I know I didn't do nothing.
These are individuals who had no criminal record. And he stood up and pointed about right here, which would have made her less than 5 feet tall. She wasn't that tall. He's 5'4". She's 5'3". She would have come up to about here.
I feel like it was a just verdict. I feel like it was the only verdict we could have arrived at.
They was just looking for somebody to convict, and Mr. Carver was unfortunately fishing that day.
What did you see that made you decide to take this case?
And we actually thought maybe there could have been accidental transference of DNA.
The DNA puts this defendant in incredibly close proximity to a recently murdered girl.
And then the more we looked at it, the more we saw.
They're having to relive the horror. And this is very, very sad. And this is very, very sad.
And it doesn't stop with the DNA.
I'm convinced beyond a reasonable doubt, and always have been since we looked at the evidence, that he's guilty.
On June the 11th, 2019. Now, in the eyes of the law, he is innocent until proven guilty.
The DA says the minute this order was filed, the order that led to this release, that he was going to begin work on appeal to uphold the conviction.
As I respect the judge, I think the judge is wrong. Because what the judge never addressed was how that would have changed things.
I saw him run out of the courtroom. He couldn't wait to get in front of the cameras to say he was going to appeal the conviction. Mr. Bell has to see the reality of the evidence and dismiss the charges first. The murderer of Ira Yarmolenko has not been charged and is still out there.
Well, that's the person who committed an opportunistic type crime. There's two types that might fit that.
This was a crime scene of somebody who planned ahead.
Because most crime is opportunistic. You see an event, you see a vulnerable victim, you take advantage of it.
I think the person who did this to Ira knew her.
That insinuates that he's disorganizing his other daily activities too. That dictates other type of things in his life also.
Okay.
And that was that in that deep woods and down there with that single girl. That was a vulnerable victim. Let me tell you.
Right.
And so you take that, and I'm more leaning toward the latter, where you gotta. So that means that he's streetwise. Yeah, he's got a crime experience.
So in other words, opportunistic would sometimes equal experience.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, that's true.
He said, no, this isn't a mistake. They identified her. We collapsed and I was shaking. I was on the floor.
Both our families immigrated here to this country for a better life and sacrificed so much. It was her student ID picture, and I just started screaming. Sorry. I realized to what extent she helped people. We started finding out really the extent of it after she died. It was the most haunting day. When you were in a room with her, it was impossible to not feel like you were the most important thing in the world.
This has been very hard for us. Very hard for us.
She had left a little paperclip sculpture of two people holding hands on top of my calculator, and I just completely fall apart, and it's like you lose all the feeling in your legs, and I'm on the ground and I'm weeping for someone. We would hear one of my parents cry.
There's just so much about her that I've never met in anybody. Just the different combinations of altruism and humor and attentiveness.
There's a lot of that sort of recovery that we'll be probably going through for the rest of our lives.
So I guess the best way to make sure that people know that someone like that existed is just to keep telling them, you know?
The most haunting day.
Us girls disguised as women, with hearts full of longing, with bellies full of indecision. What is life worth to you? What is time worth to you? What is life worth to you? What is time worth to you?